Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. Hi, how are you guys doing? So my name is AHMAD FARIS bin Muhammad Hafiz and I am the president of Media and Communication Students Club MCSC. So I will be your host for today, and in today's PR Shares first series we are going to talk about corporate PR. But I'm not going to talk about it alone. Today with me I have a very special guest with about 10 years of experience in the corporate PR field, and let's not waste any more time and invite him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you guys, Mr. KHAIRUL ANNUAR YUSOF, Head of Marketing and Communications at Gleneagles Hospital. Hi, Assalamualaikum Mr. KHAIRUL.
Waalaikumsalam. Hi Faris. Hi everyone who's watching on YouTube, is it?
Yes, on YouTube.
Okay. Hi everyone.
So
thank you for this
KHAIRUL,
opportunity.
no worries. How are you doing, Mr. KHAIRUL?
Okay, Alhamdulillah so far. COVID has been very tough moment, I believe, for everyone, and including for all of you students. COVID has been a bit, has been tough. Yeah. So it's like a new hope altogether. But I hope that each and every one of us can stay strong and hold to whatever that we have now.
Inshallah. Okay, Mr. KHAIRUL, let's get straight to the question, shall we?
All right. Sure.
All right. So first of all, I guess everybody wants to know your experience and your background for the past 10 years. And would you mind sharing it with us in detail? What you have done in the past?
Okay, while I'm talking to you, I can actually see some greetings from the people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. Okay, again, my name is KHAIRUL. I just turned 31 this year, last 7th of December. So in terms of experience, I started in Samdabi as an intern, and then okay, let's jump on the sequence and how do I fly into PR corporate PR. Okay, I first joined Samdabi Auto Performance in Glenmarie, and then after that I was in Maybank HQ. After Maybank HQ, I was in Senai International Airport, managed by MMC Corporation. And then I was called to serve the nation. So I was in Prime Minister's office. And then after that, I decided to do my own business in marketing and communication as well. After that, COVID happened, and then I was called to serve Gleneagles Madini. So that is in terms of journey. But the detailing of my experience, I think I have to track back to during my university day, together with Miss Farah, together with Miss Yana last time. So for your information, my career started one day after the final exam.
Oh,
So it's really one day after the final exam, because during that time I was during the final season, the final exam season, I was busy looking for placement for my internship. So I got here and there, and then I got a few call and interview whether or not I can join certain company for internship. Then that is fine. But then what caught me into this PR opportunity when I first joined Samdabi, which is one day after the final exam, when everyone else is in my coursemate are supposed to start their internship next year in March. So I start one day after final exam. So I start, I report duty as an intern, but only after 2 months I was extended and offered to be the executive. Because okay, later I will tell you why I do what I did last time. So that is after 2 months, so I was extended an executive. So while my other classmates are still looking for a place to intern, I got an offer already. I was already an executive. Even my supervisor during that time was Madam Kiran, Dr. Kiran, sorry, that was Dr. Kiran. As you know, Dr. Kiranjit, I don't know whether Dr. Kiranjit is still in PR or not, but those who know and have met Dr. Kiran would know how she would react and how she would treat the student. So I made sure that she don't have to visit me at my internship place. All she need to do was to call my supervisor in the workplace and then just to briefly chat and tell her that I'm okay. So that's how I survived during my final year in PR. And then after 2 years in Samdabi, I decided that I don't want to work anymore. Such a young age, and then I have this ambition to not to not be working anymore. So it's rather tragic for me. So one fine day, I sat down in my place. I was living in Kajang that time. Then one morning, I received a call from eBank. So I received a call from eBank saying that if you are interested for this position, this, and that, so please come for an interview. I received the call at about 9:40 in the morning, and my interview was scheduled on the same day at 2 p.m. So I get ready, I get dressed, and then I went to Maybank HQ in Pudu Raya. So I went for the interview, and then after the interview, the manager asked me to wait for a while. So I think I waited for about 45 minutes, and then they called me back. And that was actually a second interview. So I got my first interview and second interview happened in the same day. Okay. And then, I was in, then I report duty in Maybank. I was, my direct division was actually MCE, Marketing, Communications and Event. Okay, there was no PR. Marketing, communication and PR, and events. And I will tell you why. So I was there in marketing, communication and events, and I also served the CEO as a management trainee. So they were developing management trainees to be the next line of management technically. So that was their aspiration of doing management training. So in Maybank, I was lucky to be serving a very small management team. You know, despite Maybank is really huge, Maybank has about 14,000 staff, but the management team, you can really tell and you can really count them. So I was part of the team, just an exec. I started as an exec first. Lepas tu, I was challenged by my direct boss. So my direct boss asked me to do something with regards to Asian activation. So since Maybank has present in Asian, we have Maybank has present in Laos, in Vietnam, in Thailand, in Singapore, in Philippines, all over the place. So my direct boss, her name was Amy Morris, Latin Amy Morris. So she asked me, Khairul, would you be interested to develop a paper on talent mobility? Okay, so I did this paper, and this paper is actually where I manifest my PR skills. You know, because back in my department was communication, MCE, marketing, communication, and events. There was no PR. So my message to you guys here is that PR function is actually disposable if you don't play your role carefully, and if you don't show to people that PR is actually an essential part of a business. So So that is my message. PR is disposable. So if you look back at my first career when I was in Sime Dambi, I had to do all the dirty work to convince my German boss that PR is really important. Back in the Sime Dambi time, we were relying and depending on our PR desk in Singapore. But what happened was they don't understand how our local people will appreciate the market. How would people react to the communication approach that we are trying to put here? So that was the challenge. So I bid and I pitched to my ex-boss, a German boss. So he decided to, okay, let's set up our own PR desk. You become my executive, and surprisingly, and I was very lucky because they have no workstation for PR. So they Mr. Anbeyer, my ex-boss in Sandabi, decided to put me in his room. So I was actually living in the same room, sitting in the same room as him. So that kind of exposure in corporate PR. So, and then, okay, coming back to Maybank just now, after about 1 year doing talent mobility paper for Asian, I was about to leave Maybank. Okay, I have this one attitude where I don't want to serve in one place for a longer period, for a very long period. I don't want to do that. Because as I said, PR is disposable. If you don't explore other areas of PR, you will get bored and people will start to belittle you. They were saying that you keep doing things that you always do. Okay, would you mind to excuse me for like 5 seconds? I need to switch on the lights.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. So after I completed my paper, so I managed to promote talent mobility in Maybank, where all the young exec in Maybank get to travel. So we travel. I used to be stationed in Maybank, Singapore for 2 weeks, and then I got transferred to Thailand for another week, and then I was transferred to Laos for another week or so. So that was the idea of talent mobility, because we have shared values, corporate values, and then we try to match the talent that we have among the young people. So that was the idea. And then after I completed that paper, I decided to leave Maybank. The moment I started to leave Maybank, I was invited by my CEO, waktu itu was Datuk Farid alias, in Maybank, for me to be doing some work in Maybank, New York. So I was sent to Maybank, New York, and I was in New York for about 1 year and 3 months. So I was doing rebranding. So what happened in New York was merger and acquisition projects. So they take over all these small bank in New York, and then we brand it as Maybank. So that is to cut it short. So that's what's happened in Maybank, New York. My take is that the exposure was very, very good. You don't get to understand all these American people, because the way they work are just different. They don't even want to pick up a paper that courier guys send downstairs, because they are not covered by insurance and things like that. So you get to learn about their culture, you get to learn about their mindset and things like that. Then after that, fast forward, I served Maybank for about 4.5 years. When I moved into international business is the time that I really feel like, okay, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. Because what happened was, during my time in international business, international activities, I have to sit for a call as early as 5:30 in the morning. And the purpose of this call is so that we can talk to everyone worldwide and just to update everyone on the market situation. My message here is that PR is not all about communication. PR can be in maths, can be in number, can be in science, can be in technological update and things like that. So you have to be ready for that areas as well. And then I finally leave Maybank. So I was jobless for about 6 months. I just decided not to do anything. Then I decided to come back to Johor. I come back to Johor, my hometown, to enjoy life with my parents. Then I got a call from MMC Corporation, because they have this one opening for head of communication in Senai Airport. Okay. In Senai Airport, the portfolio is kind of different, because I am responsible to look for a commercial and also for a retail segment, but still covering PR. PR is about 20%, then the rest is all about equities, about selling land, about how do we monetize our aero bridge, how do we monetize our retail experience and things like that. So I was in Senai for about, okay, my time in Senai was very short, was rather short. It was only 6 months. So I don't get to do much, but because I have this experience where every project has to start with people, so I inherit all these people to those that I have left in Senai Airport. So they managed to activate certain plans, which I'm glad that they did. And after 6 months, I actually planned to stay in Senai for quite some time. But then I received a call from a former TV3 CEO, Dato' Farid Rizwan. So so he was asking me, Khairul, would you be interested to serve the Prime Minister? The then Prime Minister was Dato' Sri Najib Razak. So I was brought into Prime Minister's office. I became one of the advisors for Walkabout. So this Walkabout, the approach is that how do we brand Najib Razak as someone friendly? Okay. I am not afraid to share to people how we manage him, how we manage his brand. I am not afraid to people how we were able to increase his likability from a certain point to another point higher. I think that is a good exposure for me and the whole team in Prime Minister's office. And on, we are doing that just to make sure that people are happy. So my message here is that PR is all about making sure that your people is happy, making sure that your stakeholders are all with you, support you, and things like that. But what happened during 2018 election are history by itself, and I wish not to comment on that. Okay, fine. And then after we changed government, so I changed direction for myself as well. I started a business. I started my own business doing communication and marketing as well, still PR. So my main client was Sarawak state government. So what we did for Sarawak was a strategic planning. So it's all about consultation work, it's all about consulting, it's all about strategizing and things like that. It was a good exposure. It was a good 10 years of my life. I had the opportunity to own a Mercedes myself from this business and from the network, from the networking that I have. It was a fruitful journey to me until COVID happened. COVID is COVID lah, we all know COVID is COVID. But what happened during this COVID time is that a lot of company is downsizing, a lot of company is restructuring the way they spend, a lot of company is looking for an alternative to go digital. So this is again, I try to reiterate to you guys that PR is disposable. As much as we want to be proud of our study field, you just have to bear in mind that PR is disposable. So if you don't have additional advantage in you, you will find it very struggle to sell yourself. I believe you guys are all in the final year.
We are in semester 3, most of the people here.
Okay, so not in the final year lah. Because I would advise you guys to start looking for your career journey. Start plan it. Don't start at semester 6 where you are busy with your research paper and things like that. If you can start, if you can plan, try to visualize where will you guys be in 5 years' time. Where will you guys be? Always have a plan, a short plan, a short-term plan, a very short-term plan, and a long-term plan. Okay, start to plan, for instance, 6 months ahead, and then three years, and then what will happen to you guys in 5 years? Because PR is disposable. It is just so sad for everyone in the PR lane, because now you have a lot of application. You can just Google how to okay, as simple as how to construct an appealing message. You can just do a certain programming in computer. Yes. So to me personally, how I look at it, people are not really into engaging a PR agency or a PR practitioner for that matter. Only when it comes to crisis where it has to be a customized message, then they will engage. But oftentimes they will see us as in PR, they will see us as a department that is not a profit center, but it's just a cost center where we spend. So it's a very thin line between bringing in revenue and just to utilize the money that is allocated to us. So my advice here is that if you are doing PR, try to package yourself. What else that you can do? What kind of resource you can bring into the table? Don't just focus on communication. Okay, I like to do PR because I want to do social media, for example. I can tell you, you would die in 3 years' time. Don't just go into PR just because you want to do social media. Don't just do PR just because you want to manage events. Soon enough we will know that all events are virtual, like one we are having now. So you don't need an event manager anymore. Suddenly you will realize that everyone will start talking and making sense to one another. So you don't need PR anymore. And then you started to realize that, people are relying on Twitter, people are relying on Facebook as their source of news. So you don't need to produce any statement anymore. You don't need to engage media anymore. So just to tell you that every single business that has an PR ecosystem are now struggling. I am considered quite lucky even until today, because now I am in a place where our function as a PR are crucial here. Because every day you will face a dispute, every day you will face issue, every day you will face unsatisfied patient and things like that. So you really have to pick the area that is relevant to your market at that point of time. To me, again, I am lucky to be able to see all this, because I always want to do something extra. I don't really work by the JD. I always try to walk extra miles to do things differently. In this hospital, for example, they have a few budget. Okay, this is just to share you generally how a budget in a organization is planned. They have budget for marketing, they have budget for social media, they have budget for retreats, they have budget for all these festivals, perayaan and things like that. So how are you to plan and to be creative about all this budget? Okay, for example, in this hospital, they have a production budget to engage a vendor to do a content for us on social media. If you have the competency, to produce video, you have the creativity, you can see a big picture here, you can have, you can actually do this on your own. So this is how you add value in your ecosystem. So don't just do things by JD, try to explore what are other things that you can do. During my Maybank time, why I was one of the most likable person in Maybank is because I introduced a lunch bite. A small thing, but it gives impact to a lot of people. So this lunch bite, technically, I will gather news about financial. I will gather it in email. So I will provide headlines. I will provide some. Body to the headline. What is it about the news? And I will compile. I will compile by industry. I will compile by state. I will compile by instrument, be it investment, be it a saving, be it for a long-term plan and things like that. So those are all the small things that you can start do even now in your university. If you can get someone to get the news, and then you email to everyone. So this is how you keep people informed, and this is how you tell people that my function matters in this organization. Because otherwise you will just tenggelam, and then you will die sometimes. Because I think from my conversation with my PR friends from other institution and organization, most of them are going into a cold storage motion really. So this cold storage motion is technically a motion where the organization don't know what to do with you guys. So you sit here first. If we see that we have project for you, then we will give. Otherwise, you will just get a gaji. If you are aware of your position, you will leave. If you're not aware, you will just enjoy yourself, honeymoon, sampailah you kena kick out. And you don't want to be kicked out. Okay. So I think that is more or less of my experience. So if you guys ada question kan, I believe you guys would have questions.
One more question from me. I have a question.
Okay.
I totally agree with you about we have to, we have to, as a student, as a person going into the PR world, as a person going into the media world, we have to increase our soft skills because
Yeah.
I believe that those things will make us different from other people because we come from a place where everyone is doing practically the same thing. And if we go to interview with more skills than what we are expected with, then we have a higher chance to get selected for the job or anything. Or even when we are going to do our work, we have other skills that we can benefit. Like what Mr. Cairo said, if we have experience in video making and broadcasting, we could
Yeah.
always reduce the cost from there. We don't have to hire someone else to do it. So it's really important for everyone here to, starting from now, gain some new soft skills for you to use in the future.
Betul.
So, Mr. Cairo, I have a question regarding, like you said, 1 week you're working in Laos, 1 week you're working in Singapore, and you're always changing your working area, right? So, how do you manage with the culture change, or is it any different from before because you jump from another country to another, right? So the culture is a bit different. So, how do you manage
Okay.
the change?
Okay, this is one thing unique and I would say interesting about PR. You know, though you are placed in a certain area, you are to apa orang cakap to assimilate with their local culture. You know,
Mhm.
technically you can't be yourself. You really can't be yourself. You know, because your function requires you to listen to the people of where you
Yes,
are located,
yes,
right? So this is the part that I enjoy. I think I enjoy the most because you get to learn new thing, you get to meet a new people. You know that Thailand would have the best manner of all. You know, you will always greet people, and then you would know that in terms of business, in terms of business dealings, business relationship, UK part and US part would have all the hard and tough instruments to work with. So my tips is that if you were to be placed other than Malaysia, you just have to follow their rule of thumb. You know,
yeah,
bahasa Melayu cakap yang masuk-masuk kandang tu semua kan. So you figure out lah what kandang nak kena masuk, and then you just act accordingly. So it is actually interesting because each time because last time when I was in KL, and I receive a colleague from Indonesia, I receive a colleague from
mhm,
Laos, I receive from Philippines. I can see how they struggle to meet in between. I mean to be in our society. You know, that is an important gesture that we as a host has to extend. You know, because PR is all about simplifying the experience, giving the best experience for people. So yeah, if you get the chance to go elsewhere other than Malaysia, please do,
mhm.
and then try it for yourself. It will be very fruitful.
Yes, because I totally agree with you because I think that when we meet new people, we get to learn about the society, we get to learn about how
Yeah.
people work, and we could always open our mindset, our point of view towards the society. Because I believe that the more you learn from other people, the better
Mm.
person you become.
Yes,
So
true.
thank you for sharing that with us, Mr. Cairo.
Mm.
Okay, so last question from me is um, in what way does PR changes a person? Because, like you said, we have to experience a different situation, we have to
Yeah.
experience new environment. So, like you
Mm-mm.
said, we cannot be ourselves, right? So, how do we get out of that comfort zone, like to work in a society that is different from what we expected? So, would you mind sharing that with us?
Okay, this would be a tips. When before you join or before you enter a certain organization, make sure you make a little bit of study, if possible, a thorough study about what kind of market does this organization try to solve, try to address with, you know, and every segment of market, every people is unique. You know, there are no common traits. You know, I've been in
Mm-hmm.
automotive, I've been in banking, I've been in
Mm-hmm.
uh, airlines, I've been in government sector, and I've been in now is healthcare. Every segments are different,
Okay.
you know. So there's no one size fits all. That is for sure.
Agreed.
You have to have your own understanding about um, how to address to all these people. You know, of course, being a PR, the first trait, the basic trait that you will need to have is the empathy. You need to have the
Yeah.
empathy. You need to have the heart that is able to understand every spectrum of life. You know,
Mhm.
I thought about uh, getting to know people deeply when I was in Prime Minister's office. You know,
Okay.
because our former Prime Minister Najib Razak,
Mhm.
it is not his fault. He was born on a silver plate. Okay, he was technically a
Yeah.
bangsawan. Okay, so the reason why they brought me in is to match him with the communists like us. You know, because they don't know, because he himself has this struggle. How do he express his empathy? You know,
Mhm.
so this is where you are to understand your market. So each time I bring Datuk Sri Najib Razak to meet, for example, nelayan. Okay, then I would advise him, sir, you're not supposed to use fork and spoon while eating. Okay, let's try
Okay.
to use your finger.
Okay.
Sir, you're not supposed to sit like this. You're supposed to bersila. You know. So if you are ever parked under any organization, try to do this activation with your CEO. Try to propose this to your CEO. Is that if you have a CSR project, you know, you have to be in their shoes.
Mhm.
So this has a vast advantage to the company that you work with. You know, you are be seen as a supporting to the community. You are seen to be understanding the community and things like that. So it is changes started from us, from the PR department. But you really have to understand what kind of market that you're addressing.
Yes. Agreed.
Hmm. Okay, I nampak kat situ Mr. Azrael ada few more people are leaving. Why? Boring is it?
No, no. This is to make room for the questions later on
Oh,
because
okay, sure.
uh, all right. So thank you for sharing about the Prime Minister's office experience.
Mm.
I think that's a really good sharing because we get to see how what actually you do at PR's office. You know, you
Mm.
help the Prime Minister, you help him understand the society, which I think is really important for everyone. So I
Mm.
really agree with that.
Benda tu
From
Faris, benda tu sebenarnya macam a non functional job tau. You know, it's really like macam macam orang akan tanya macam kau apa hal nak buat benda ni semua kan? Kenapa kau nak kena tentukan apa benda orang nak pakai? Kenapa you nak kena tentukan apa orang nak, macam mana orang nak duduk? Kenapa you nak kena tentukan media nak duduk kat mana and things like that. So that's why a PR person requires you to be someone yang all rounder. You know, you need to look at things in a bigger picture. You know, if you are holding a press release, for example, you need to plan carefully mana nak letak media, and then you have to make sure that all these media people are being treated nicely so that they don't feel offended and rasa macam nak balik je. Because after all, bila management struggle nak dapatkan news dekat mana-mana airtime, they will come to you and they will ask you, why are we not getting this airtime? Then you should be telling that because we don't practice a good relationship with media. So media relationship is
oh,
important here. You know, besides our direct reports, our CEO, kan, media are actually our main boss, one of the main boss, because we are trying to save the cost of our organization by getting some free coverage. Sekarang ni lagi time COVID kan, so all these newspaper are really looking into making money. So anything also like macam, oh, you have to buy this lot, you have to buy this lot, you know. So you have to be creative. How do you tie this up so that you can get it for free? Okay. I started. If you go to Facebook page, our hospital Facebook page, Gleneagles Hospital Medini Johor, then you will see a series of Facebook Live. So this is where, because I just joined Gleneagles for about 3 months now, so very new. So we are trying to improve this experience gradually, and we can see a real-time experience, and we can see a real-time improvement. That when we improve our approach, other people will start to be eyeing on us. Okay, for example, last time before I joined this Facebook live session, it's just going to be like very straightforward. You know, it's just about doctor talking about diseases, doctor about talking about treatment and things like that. So when I came in, I talked to my team. We need to start having a partner. So our first cancer series that we started somewhere last month, we have started to feature, for example, Yayasan Cancer Tugu Laksamana Johor, and then we have a Rose Foundation for Cancer. So by doing this, you are leveraging into a shared capacity. So for example, on my hospital Facebook page, I would have 16,000 followers. On my partners, they would have average of 10 to 20,000, you know. So this is how you grow your audience. So you have to be really creative here in reaching out to a wider segment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think
we love Mr. KHAIRUL tiba tak ya. Okay, what is it?
I think we are going to move on to the live questions from the students now. Is that okay with you?
Okay, sure. Okay, sure.
Okay, so we invite the first student to ask the question.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. My name is Izudia Aiman. I'm from MC 113B. And my question for you is, what skills have you acquired that would help you communicate a client's message?
Okay, understood. So he will stay here, right? Okay, alright. Then now he's gone. Okay, in terms of skill acquired, strategic thinking in PR is very important. You know, you don't give anything concrete until you see a bigger picture. Bigger picture includes a budget. Bigger picture includes target market. Bigger picture includes result. You know, what is the achievable result that you want to promise to your client? So strategic planning is very important. You have to think strategically, because being a PR, like I said just now, you have to have the ability to see a bigger picture. You know, if you plan one thing, make sure this thing is sustainable. If you plan for one thing, you make sure that the thing that you're producing is autopilot. You know, meaning that very minimum and very less adjustment, moderation that needs to happen. So my answer to siapa tadi, Izudin eh? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, Izudia. My answer to you would be that the most important skill, if you are for example, if you are working with Leo Bernard, a PR agency, strategic thinking is very, very crucial here. Because you are to plan for them. You are to plan for them the entire process, the entire PR campaign, the entire PR process. So yeah, please pay more attention on the strategic thinking. I tak ingat sangat sama ada kita ada strategic thinking subject tak dekat dalam PR. Tapi kalau tak ada, all these things are available through readings, you know, you try to listen to podcasts. I think because I dah macam tua sikit, so I don't read book anymore, but I do listen to ebook. So it's just a listening session of 15 minutes one day, and then I do this twice a week. I can complete one book in 2 weeks. Okay lah, fine. You know, so reading are still very, very important. So please continue reading, you know. I am a non-English speaker last time. You can ask Miss Yana, you can ask Miss Farah. You know, kalau nak cakap English dulu, during my time tu macam nak meninggal sebab susah betul cakap English, you know. But only through reading, only through meeting people, you can improve yourself. Yeah. And then another thing, when it comes to servicing a client, this client can be a really, really client, or this client can be cross-department, this client can be your direct CEO and things like that. Another skill that it is very crucial for you to acquire is a presentation skill, you know.
Yes.
Back in my time, I have one lecturer, nama dia adalah Sir Amejid. Sir Amejid, and another one is Mr. Hamdan Ahamu. You know, these two persons have taught us to say it right, to say it straight, and don't hide anything. When it comes to presentation, because being PR, we are disposable, we are vulnerable. So you really have to look into areas to improve yourself.
Great.
Yeah, betul. Arina Muhammad Noor. True, reading is very important. Yes, very, very important. Yeah. So I hope I have answered him.
Alright.
Hmm.
So
Any
I
more?
agree with you also. Strategic planning. Sorry.
Any more questions? Anyone wants to share
Okay.
anything?
Alright. Next question, please, for the questions. Okay.
Okay. Hi, Mr. KHAIRUL.
Hi,
So
Sakira.
my question is, can you describe a social media crisis you had and how you handled the crisis?
Okay. Sure. Okay, my experience in managing social media crisis would be manifested during my time in Prime Minister's office, during Najib Razak. While we are working so hard to increase his likability, to improve his brand, we were attacked by netizen, on the disadvantage carried by this person, which is Najib Razak, Datuk Sri Najib Razak. So, my tips would be managing crisis using social media. Again, bukan semua orang yang boleh manage social media ni. Selalunya kalau dekat company, PR, marketing, communication, we need to handle social media accounts. Have a plan. Have a proper plan on how do you manage your channels. Having a social media is very important nowadays. But having a social media that is communicating and interacting are rather important. Oftentimes a company would just sign up a social media, tapi bila orang attack, bila orang tanya soalan, bila orang bagi feedback, the comment, dia tak ada comment, dia akan tinggal di situ selama-lamanya, kan? So that is a bad example. Dia akan ignore. So that is a bad example of having a social media. So if you want to activate your social media account, make sure you have a proper plan. Try to simulate, be in a simulation where you face a few scenario, be it in crisis, be it orang puji, be it orang comment, be it being hacked. Recently, if you're aware, former Menteri Besar of Johor Bahru was accused of following certain pornographic content on Twitter, and what happened was a disaster because he don't have a plan on how to manage this crisis. So what he did was he just deleted that account and he opened up a new account, and don't give a vague answer in the sense that channeling it to another party. You have to really have plan on how do you communicate about this. I would say a PR for politician in Malaysia are something that we don't want to compare. A PR skills among a politician in Malaysia, I don't want to name anyone, tapi generally the PR are very poor. Sebab tu kita boleh dengar benda-benda macam orang cakap kalau tak nak bayar tol lalu jalan kampung. Recently YBKJ jatuh, then JKR minta maaf about what happened to normal people and things like that. If you want to see how best to manage and engage with your audience in social media, you can look some of the good examples. Sebagai contoh, Domino's Pizza. You can see how Nando's is doing that. They are doing it great because one, they are FMCG. They are fast-moving goods, whatever. So they have to react promptly, and if you want to see how a brand is moving, you can see how last time Barack Obama does it in the past, and then you can see some of the key people like Justin Trudeau, and then we are just so sad that our politician doesn't really look into a PR respect in communicating with the public. Okay, so again, keyword here, managing crisis in social media is to really have a solid plan. Never leave your audience hanging, because when you are leaving them hanging, they will start to speculate. And the speed for speculation to travel, just crazy.
Agreed.
Okay.
So it's really important that we have a plan when we create our social media, right? In case anything happens.
True. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So we move on to the last question from the live part. So let's call
Excuse
upon
me.
our last guest, please. Yes.
Hello, Mr. KHAIRUL. I am Sarah Aziz from MC1103G, and I have a question. In
Okay.
your opinion, what is the strength of a company that has public relations practitioner?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think to answer that, okay, sorry can I get the question once again? Mana Farah tu dia boleh muncul balik tak? Sarah.
Boleh, boleh.
My question is, in your opinion, what is the strength of a company that has public relations practitioners? The strength of a company. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Okay, strength of company is very, very straightforward lah. To me, strength of a company of having a PR practitioner inside, PR department inside, is just that they are having it. So that is the first strength, because they are having it. But the head of department, the people in that PR department, has to make sure that they play an important role, in activating their department, because otherwise having is just for the sake of having it, So a company that has a PR department has to really understand why do they have this PR department in the first place. You will be surprised to see that telco would have a huge group of PR team, because they would understand their business better. They are dealing with people, they are dealing with sort of clients, they have corporates, they have retail clients, they have the mass market to address. So they would have a different segment. So the bigger your market, the more advantage for you to have a PR department. So what I don't understand, and I don't have the formula yet to convince a certain company that you should have it, is because they don't really see the importance of PR. PR is a gray area, is disposable, because oftentimes the function clashes with marketing, the function clashes with communications. But if you go to a big corporate, to big organization, they would have a certain different department lah. They would separate communication, they would separate marketing, they would separate PR. But I don't think it's a good move for us for you guys as a freshie to be joining this big company, because you won't learn. I can tell you that you won't learn. You won't learn anything. You have to start in a small company, gain your experience, go around for about 10 years, then only you settle down at one place. So this is where you can actually bring into the table your whole value, your wholesomeness in doing PR. So to answer Sarah just now, what is the advantage? The advantage is very straightforward. That company has a PR department, but what the PR department is responsible in doing is that they have to really make sure that they are functioning well, understand the market, act promptly and swiftly and honestly, do not hide anything, selalunya kita kan, macam I pun dulu masa I tengah jadi executive, there are things that I think is not important to be shared when it comes to communication. So I oftentimes like macam, okay, I rasa benda ni kita tak payah bagi tahu kot. But sebenarnya, to your surprise, the smallest thing that you try to hide is the biggest factor things can go wrong. So make sure, tell everything. And it's actually, okay, now that I'm head of communication in this hospital, I would expect my team members to tell me everything, even if it's a little small thing issue, tell me, because I would have a bigger picture of how to manage this in case a bigger things happen. So never hide it, tell it all, and then think through. Okay, so that would be the advantage, together with my advice.
All right. Okay. So thank you. So right now we are going to move on to the questions from the comment part, from the comment section. So is there any questions that would like to be asked? Is it true that PR must always do what clients want?
Is it true that PR must always do? Okay, no. This is not a good fundamental. It is not about what the clients want. It is all about the objective that you try to achieve. If you are working for a client, you would have, okay, this is how you carry yourself. This is not about what you want. Okay, this is what would benefit you. Okay, even if it's not even if it's not in their favor, but this would benefit you, because PR is all about putting the trust and the happiness of the public first, then only about you. So if you can make your audience happy, if you can make your market happy with your presence, you can then inshallah you will survive.
Right, Ms. KHAIRUL, this is from my questions for you based on your answer just now. As a PR practitioner, we have to be loyal to our company, right? And also we have to be loyal to our personal beliefs. So in your experience, how do you differentiate what is more important, your personal beliefs or what the company wants? Because sometimes it might be different from our beliefs, right? It might be a conflict or a clash. So how do you resolve that?
Okay, this is where cultural adaptation is important. Okay, what you believe may not be necessarily true, and what the company wants may not be important rather. So you have to meet in between. If you are assigned to a project that has impact to a bigger community, make sure you know where to funnel your project. You have to know where to funnel the ideas. The ideation has to come first. You need to have the canvas, to understand, to differentiate whether your belief is can be validated by a certain ideas. You need to have a canvas to validate a certain direction that company is giving you. So because benda-benda macam ni you won't find it in the book. You really won't find it in the book. So you really have to find balance in between your beliefs and what was the directive, and never take it personally, because PR is not about yourself. PR is about other people. You are representing your company. You are representing your division. You are the so-called the soft voice of your organization. So it's really not about yourself. So your belief is important, but always get things validated. Okay. All right.
Okay, so maybe another question from the comment. Your opinion.
Okay, what is the safe opinion? Our career in public relation field during internship. Okay, the safest step would be when looking for a company, make sure you look for a small company. It is not a small company. It is not a small company by size, tau. It's a small company by structure. Okay, make sure you look for a company that can give you an experience of managing things in a different levels. Kalau you dapat cari satu company, you have to have this visual, this direction in your head. What is it that you want to achieve? Okay, you still want to experience event management. You still want to experience a social media account. You still want to experience a media relation stuff. So make sure you find a company that can offer you all this experience. If you go to a company that has division all divided, communication, events, marketing, PR, then most likely you will end up doing some printing job. So don't do that. Okay, I don't know whether you guys have this network or not. Try to be in your network of PR people, and then as the economy in Malaysia is moving into MNC, we are moving from MNC to a gig economy. So it's important for you guys to actually plan and understand where can you fit as a PR person, you know, because if really we can materialize the gig economy, so that becomes an interesting landscape for you guys to practice PR, you know, because you will have companies like all the small company like Gojek, like Food Panda, like a Grab, even company-company yang kecil ni kan, so you would experience PR in totality. So the tips here is always look for something that can offer you in totality. Don't just buy one segment. So nanti kan bila you pergi dekat any job portal like JobStreet or maybe LinkedIn, then you will start to see internship for social media uh, executive. Kan? My advice would be, kalau ada peluang lain, carilah peluang lain. Don't go into a specialization yet. You know, try to experience all. Being in corporate PR means that you are being in the business. So you are not because, I tak tahulah. Tapi we as a PR, kita tak boleh ada satu sikap yang rasa macam, okay, I just want to do this. Kalau you ada that attitude that you just want to do one thing, trust me, you won't survive. Maximum, I will give you 3 years. After that, you won't survive anymore. So try to be all-rounder so that you can contribute more. Yeah.
So it's always important to start small, right? You know, gain your experience, gain your learn about the field more better before going into something more difficult, right? So it's baby steps, you know, one step, satu. So yes. So right now we are going to move on to the last question. So
tadi Faris, you cakap last question, tapi tak apalah. Come. Sir, how do you handle with a PR crisis, especially when people are throwing hate towards the party? Okay, when dealing with accusation, I would say this is accusation because they are throwing hate. Address it, don't divert. Okay, address, don't divert. That would be very core idea of managing crisis when people are throwing assumption, when people are just sensational, create unnecessary drama for your crisis. So address it, don't divert it, and don't try to change topic. So that would be the tips in managing. Done.
So
okay.
We have to like instead of running away from it, we just go with it and explain everything, right?
Yes, explain. Yeah.
Okay. So I think there's a lot of questions, but everyone is excited to have you here with us. So, but unfortunately, we don't have the time for that. So I think we have come to the end of our session for today, and I just want to thank Mr. KHAIRUL so much for his time and kindness for joining our session today. So thank you so much, Mr. KHAIRUL.
But I have one last thing to say. Can I?
Can yes.
Okay, like I said just now, PR is disposable, but that is not the reason for you guys to change course. Okay, let's not use that as a reason to change course. You have to prove to people, to the organization that you will join one day, that PR is very important. Okay, because now, they look at us as if like we are disposable. So let's prove to them that we are not disposable. We are very crucial and we are very important in the whole structure for a business to run. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we have to show what PR is actually made of.
Yeah.
We have to show what PR is actually made of. Okay, everyone. So don't be scared. Just keep on going, fighting. All right. So again, thank you so much to Mr. KHAIRUL for answering the questions, for giving us tips and tricks. And before that, I just want to remind to the students here for part 3 especially, don't forget to sign your attendance. The links will be given shortly, so wait for it. And I think that is about it. So thank you again to Mr. KHAIRUL, and I guess maybe inshallah we will see each other soon.
Inshallah. Thank you so much guys for your time watching this.
All right. So everyone, that is all. Thank you.
Thanks.